she's getting married this next week?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're getting married next week. So she sent a text to all of us that said, sorry, but my hands are just really full. And you think, bless her heart.
Well, I did see her email come through. Sorry, this is late. I'm not coaching, but for her to even do this is awesome.
Yeah. It's very, very much so. So, and I think it's a great scenario. So why don't we just get started in it, and we'll just let people join us when they come in. So I really thought this one was great. She said it's not a real one, but yeah, I thought it helped us to walk through all the processes real well. So, okay, so Kathy is a middle-aged mom with 5 kids. I bet she is tired. I bet she does feel run down.
No kidding.
She probably does some emotional eating. Of course, mac and cheese, ice cream, and cereal. She doesn't want to eat those things often because she doesn't feel good when she eats them. She wants to be the best mom for her kids. She doesn't like to exercise most of the time. She feels judged by her size and body shape. But she likes to take her kids on a walk with the dog and hike in the mountains with her husband. You've been asking her what she would like to do better with her health. She's come up with some ideas: more brisk walks, maybe trying to run once a week, eating less of her comfort foods and more whole foods in her diet. When you ask her the benefits of changing, she replies, well, I wanted to eat better so I can have more energy. I just eat out of stress, and that's not doing me any good. I want to be able to move my body more so I can love and treat it right. I'd like to be in better shape to go on more hikes with my husband. So what stage of change would you put Kathy in?
Well, she definitely is in, well, it's not, what is it? Pre-contemplation. And then what's the next one? Action?
No, contemplation.
Oh.
No, contemplation comes after pre-contemplation.
Oh yeah, contemplation, preparation, and act. Sounds like she's has already kind of thinking about preparing for something. So like she wants to get into action mode.
Yeah, I don't think she's there yet, though.
No, she's still thinking about what she can do. So I mean, maybe she needs to start preparing to do some of these things, because I want to do this and I want to do that. So she's kind of at the end of it, maybe in between.
I would put her in the contemplation stage personally. That's where I put her.
Yeah.
Because she still needs a compelling motivation to change. She's voicing it, but she doesn't seem to be fully motivated. Yeah. I don't think so. She needs help to connect the dots.
Because even the next questions I asked in this one, it said, what changes would you like to make in your routine? It's kind of one of the questions I came up for 2.11.1.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, one of mine was, you mentioned you want to be a good mom, more energy to go hiking with your husband. So how will they benefit when you achieve your nutrition and physical activity goals? To try and get her to look at, motivations, from people, supporting people.
Yeah. Yeah. If you do change, what are the benefits? And then I think that's what they talked. And if you don't change, what are the, costs of this? Because it sounds like even her husband wants to spend more time with her, but she probably doesn't have the energy to really do it all the time. She's overweight like that, but he wants to spend time with her. And it's a good way to do it because of the exercise and the fresh air. And
right. But if she's overweight, it's probably just hard for her to do it. Yeah. So one evocative question I wrote down is, tell me what you don't like about the way things are now, and how might your current diet and exercise lead to problems in the future? And I know that's got a negative bend to it, but just somehow trying to evoke some change motivation in her.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And you mentioned the best 3 reasons, I think, to increase your health and wellness. Did you say that?
Well, no, I didn't say best 3 reasons. I just said, I think you said that.
Oh, okay.
I said something about what would be the benefits if you did change.
That's what you said. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But what are you saying? You said, what are the best?
Best 3 reasons to increase your health and wellness. Also trying to find some strength in her. So you mentioned you completed your college degree. So tell me about another challenge you overcame and you're proud of the results.
That's a good one.
Starting to, look for those.
That would be, and that would definitely help her. You were saying something about, well, it comes in longer. Just helping her feel like she can do that. Yeah. Oh, that's right. How can you use Kathy's awareness, learning, and tools to improve confidence in making informed decisions? That's way down.
What question is that?
It's 2.12.4, but I was thinking, but the confidence, like you were kind of talking about, or hey, you've done this in the past, you've graduated from college. That's a big goal when you accomplished it. So
yeah, looking for the strengths. After reading this week, I really think doing a strengths assessment is a vital part, just like doing a wellness vision. I've never done that before, other than with a couple of new clients that where I read about that, and they're young kids. So
right.
I think it does help, because I don't think a lot of people recognize their strengths, their inherent strengths.
I didn't do it until I was in my church. So I was in my 40s. And I go, oh, I mean, maybe, yeah, there was a strength test that we could get. I think it was in Jordan, wasn't the book? I don't know. I always go by the last name. By a shortened version by Jung. I guess.
Well, the one that's listed in 2 or 3 of the readings is the values and action character-based strengths.
Who is that one by?
That is the group is called Values in Action, and it's a character based strengths assessment, and it's free. And there is a youth one too. So for kids under 18, there's one for them.
Okay.
But then there's a free one for adults. I went on and took it. It's nice.
Called Values?
No, it's VIA, Values in Action. If you've not got to that point in reading, you'll see it. They put in a link where you can go straight to it for the free assessment.
Okay. I read that. There was one.
Yeah. There's another couple that are mentioned, but that one is mentioned 2 or 3 times in the reading.
I like that one. Anyway. Sometimes I think I need to have people elicit for me that you're doing a good job. You know what I mean?
Everybody needs to hear it.
Oh, golly.
Everybody needs to be affirmed.
Yes, ma'am.
That's part of who we are. Okay, the next question to 11.2, what activities or conversations can you use that will help Kathy explore and articulate values, sense of meaning, and purpose? So there's always the simple question of, Kathy, what are your top 3 values in life? So you could just ask it.
Yep. Or what topic would you like to move forward today?
Well, and what have you ever used the values card assortment?
Yeah, those are good.
Do you have the card set?
I do.
Okay. I've never bought that because all my coaching has been virtual, but I was trying to figure out a way to do it without having to be physically present.
The only thing I have is, remember Dr. Sears? They sent us the things and we just cut them up ourselves and made them. Did you have to do that for one of your groups?
Yes, I do have it, but I didn't remember that. So I'll go back in.
So you can have them make up a set of their own, and they just cut them apart and make them for one of their projects.
Yeah.
And because we had to do that on a Zoom call or a coaching call, right? So maybe
forgotten about that.
So I mean, that would be something we could put on here for one of the things to work on with that, not just a vision statement, but then maybe also, I guess that would be 2 point, finding out her values.
Yeah, I think those are 3 core things that you have to assess with new clients is the wellness wheel, the value cards, and the strengths. I just had never put that together in my mind before, but I've got it now. So
yeah. So do you remember when they had us do that with our clients? Wellness wheel was the first thing. Then
I don't remember when. I'd have to go back to that.
Values, did we do the values second or third?
I honestly do not remember without digging it out. I remembered it. I never incorporated it into my coaching and never really recognized its value, but I do value values now. So
yeah, because helps us move forward. That gives us the motivation. I mean, you're finding out. So, because you had said you asked that question, what are your top 3 values? Is that what you said?
Yeah, top 3 values in life. I've started asking that question with new clients now, but yeah, I hadn't really done that before, so I'm using it now.
That's good.
What other thoughts have you got about helping her articulate values, sense of meaning, and purpose?
Oh, I didn't have much else. I'll just put it. I was just trying to get through this week.
Okay.
I'm just telling you, honey. I was like,
well, I get you. I did had another question. How will integrity look in your life if you pursue an improved diet and more exercise? Because there was that whole little section about reading about integrity.
Yeah, how will your integrity look in your life if you
pursue an improved diet and more exercise?
What will your life look like if you pursue your goals and dreams?
Yeah.
Or spending more time with your husband or whatever it's going to,
Right.
Sounds like she wants to be with her kids too, but taking them all out on a walk is a great way of combining things.
Yep. Absolutely. So 211.3, how can you help Kathy envision her optimal health and well-being?
I just work on a vision or a vision statement with her. I thought that would be really important.
Yeah, do the wellness wheel and then have her write her wellness vision.
I think it hasn't been done yet,
Yep. Another thing and I asked this of a client this morning, is who's someone in your circle of friends and acquaintances that you see as healthy and vibrant, and what do you admire about them? Trying to get role models worked into here.
Or who are the top 5 people you hang around?
Yeah.
I mean, if they are, eating crap and drinking and not working out, you're not going to want to hang around. Or who could you invite that you would like to go on a walk with them?
See, that's a great question. Yeah, I like that because it starts to build relationships and community. And usually I'm finding a lot of folks are pretty lonely.
Yeah, when I moved here, I've kind of been asked a couple people. One girl next door said, well, my foot hurts, and I've asked her again. I thought, well, maybe I'll call her again. And the one down the road, I think we've gone on a walk once, but I'll continue to ask.
Yeah.
So it helps me too.
Sure.
You have to do that for yourself. I mean, not everybody is going to do that. And I think they'll feel good afterwards. I know that.
Yep. I had a walking buddy then a few years ago, and she and I met at 5:30 every morning. you know,
Mm-hmm.
except when it was raining or snowing.
Yep. We had our rain gear here in Oregon. I used to run with some gals, and I'm not really a runner, but they would go, I think we go Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, I think it was like 4:45. I don't know, it was ridiculous time, 5:15, I don't know. But there's no daycare, and I'm a stay-at-home mom, and there wasn't really gym and all that stuff. So, and it was great. I just ran and they talked.
Yeah. There you go.
Once in a while, I could say a few words, but I was just trying to keep up with them. But it was fun, right? You got out, see some friends.
Great way to build relationships. It's also, get you up and get you moving, get you ready, get your brain turned on for work.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see, 211.4, how would you discuss and honor the client's preferences for self-monitoring without judgment, accountability, mode of connecting? So how do you do that? Email, text, or phone calls?
Okay. Well, I just said, how do you see yourself keeping track of your goals? Just kind of asking her. And then if she doesn't know, and then she asks for ideas, we can make some suggestions.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing.
One of the first things I ask is if you want to try walking and I was having a conversation with this woman in my head. So you want to try walking for 15 minutes for 2 days next week. How will you carve out time in your schedule?
That's good.
So, and who will you tell about your plan? And then somewhere later on, I talk about, if you've got just to put a pedometer app on your phone, just so it can help you track if you don't have a Fitbit or something like that. But I think this comes up again. Let's see, then 211.5, how could you use the self-determination theory to help Kathy along? Self-determination is autonomy, competence, and relatedness.
Well, one of the questions I said, what are things that help, what are things that would help you remind to eat more fruits and vegetables? Or even, because I know she said she wants to eat better. So what are the things, I was thinking, I think they were talking about what's going on around her. That's going to help her remember to do that.
Yeah. You want to help her to get to her highest level of motivation. Help her to engage her persistence and her creativity. So another thing I've put in there was to share the benefits of walking with the client in an email or text. On Pinterest, there's all kinds of memes you can pull up that, will give you the 7 best reasons for walking or, something like that. And that can be just an extra little motivator. Of course, you have to agree with everything that's in there, but, just some things to help encourage along the way is,
She could, like you were talking, put some kind of a sign up, or if she wanted to talk about things that would help her to stay motivated. Is that the same thing as far as maybe I'm on the wrong thing, but as far as just keeping her, like her clothes out or tennis shoes somewhere, or, things that she can see.
Right. Yeah.
And maybe at some point, if she's talking about maybe just taking those foods out of her home for a little while and try some other things with her kids, because those kind of things are hard for me to have around.
Yeah.
And I don't know if with her kids, if she's trying to feed them a little healthier, I don't know. If maybe she'd only buy 1 box of mac and cheese and have it in the house to feed their kids, and then she wouldn't have the extras, or even the ice cream. They can make nice cream and
right.
And even go to the store with the children and find some healthier options. I think Dr. Sears talks about the sugar and the, what healthy cereal looks like.
Yeah.
So that would be another, help her with that too.
Yeah. Well, and use the traffic light eating. Probably a good teaching theory for her.
Yep.
And to clean out the pantry. Yep.
And what could we substitute for those things? Or what could you do if you're feeling stressed or, emotional eating, or, talk to her about that and what ideas she might come up with.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, she could always do cauliflower instead of macaroni. Do the cauliflower substitute.
Yeah.
So, okay, those are good. Yep, I like that. I think the traffic light eating is just so stinking simple and brilliant all at the same time.
Yeah. It's like, where do you put that in when you first start off with your client?
Well, she may not quite be there yet, if she's in the contemplation. But when she moves to the preparation stage, I sure would think that would fit.
Yep, for sure. So because you could still do a wellness wheel, the values, and a strength assessment, even if she's not in that part in preparation.
Sure, because I would think that it would help call out that motivation, that self-motivation. That's kind of our goal, is to call that out of the clients.
Yes. Finding out, it's like, you've got all these great skills and talents and gifts and, things that you can bring to solving your problems or whatever it's going to be. Yeah. We have to remind ourselves of that. Look how far you've come. And it's good to hear once in a while from, like you were saying, other people.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And just to also, every so often with clients is like you just said, is just to list all of their accomplishments to a certain point. I've got a client, I need to do that. I haven't done that with one client recently.
That would be good this is a new client, but I'm thinking other clients that you've had in the past, is talk about how far they've come and look at the steps you've moved forward, because they're like, gosh, I still haven't lost the weight or whatever it is. But sometimes it's just changing the skills. Like, well, look how much you're sleeping better and you're drinking more water and you've given up the alcohol for this amount of time and you found that you sleep better when you're not drinking. It's kind of those, like, oh yeah, I didn't realize that, Right.
Especially that the books say, especially if they've had a relapse, it's so important to remind them of how far they've come, because they forget.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see, to 11.6. What are some key motivational interviewing concepts you can use in your coaching conversation with Kathy?
Well, we've talked about, the vision statement, but I was thinking after she has this vision statement, it would be good to focus on her goals and use maybe the bubble sheet.
Yeah, and I think key motivational interviewing concepts. Well, of course, the MI is the engage and focus.
And I could focus on that one in particular.
Yeah, because you're still probably engaging with her. She may be a full client at this point. But the one thing, and this is still a challenge for me, that the books say, is be sure that a client finishes every stage of change before they move up to the next level. So a contemplator you need to work through all the issues in contemplation. So that tells you it's probably decisional balance, to work through the pros and cons before you could take them even up to the preparation stage. So I think when I worked on that question, I didn't hear it myself say it like I just did, the key motivational interviewing concepts. So here you are still very much engaging and working on focus with her.
So we could still focus, some small goals. It sounds like she's thinking about that. So definitely could focus on those, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Because it would be very key to get her to see a couple of small wins, to begin to boost her confidence and build her self-efficacy.
Yeah.
which is the next question. 212.1. What are some of the ways you could help Kathy improve her self-efficacy?
And that's what I wrote down. Setting small goals for success to move forward.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And importance and confidence are key components for motivation to change. So you want to evoke hope from her. Maybe ask the question, what gives you confidence that you can walk twice next week? Again, that was the conversation I had in my head with her. She was saying that's what she was going to try.
There you go. Confidence.
Listen for words like could and can and able to and possible. Those were words you want to hear her say. Yeah.
Okay.
212.2. How can you engage Kathy in problem solving?
I was thinking of some scaling questions on how important some of her goals might be, asking her about that. And maybe I was also thinking maybe some brainstorming. You know, they were talking about set a timer for whatever it is, 4 minutes, and just kind of go back and forth with her if she's not thinking of anything herself, right? Mm-hmm. That might be a good one to do. And again, you've kind of brought up the pro versus con. I thought that was good a little bit. I don't know if that fits there or not, but one of the questions they kind of had, how does this serve me and others and the world around me? Or is, because it sounds like she's very aware of her family and her children. She wants to, and maybe the question would be, how does this serve me and my kids and my husband? Mm-hmm. If she changes some of her habits and things like that. So.
Yeah, and I was looking at this again from my head conversation with Kathy. Mm-hmm. Was if she's really wanting to walk twice next week for 15 minutes. So yeah. The question would be, if the weather doesn't cooperate on one of those days, what will you do?
That's good.
Problem solve with her. So, and then like you said, who's a friend or neighbor that you'd like to catch up with that you could invite to join you? Or would you just want a time to yourself? Do you want to be alone?
Yeah. I mean, is there a favorite podcast or something you like to listen to, or, mm-hmm. Things like that? Sometimes that's what, like I did this morning, and I'm behind on this podcast that I really like. So it hasn't happened, on vacation with your family or whatever,
And this is where I did ask the question is, do you have a pedometer app on your phone so you can see the number of steps you take in the 15 minutes while you're out? Mm-hmm. Again, that accountability being, well, if you get, 1,500 steps in 15 minutes or whatever it might be, next week, how can you take that up to 2,000 steps? So, yeah, man, we're moving along without other people talking. We're just
well, we'd probably have more, ideas, but this is good. For sure, just going through it. I mean, otherwise, if I didn't have the accountability from you, I probably wouldn't do this. So thank you.
You're welcome. I really find this to be a very helpful process.
Mm-hmm. After reading all this and kind of going through it and all that, Okay, so if the
we're on 12.3.
Yes.
How can you get Kathy to consider short and long-term benefits and consequences of her health behaviors?
I think that was how will this serve me in the future or in the long run?
Yeah, I like that. Mm-hmm.
And I think that kind of comes in again at the beginning when we were asking, if I don't change, what's the cost of that? And then what are the benefits? I think those can come back into that question, don't you?
Yes, that's what we do.
Yeah.
If you don't change, what will your health be like?
So costs and benefits.
Yeah.
I don't have central AC here, and I'm just getting warm. It's supposed to get up to 105 again today or something ridiculous.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm sure you are hot. Like
It's only 11:30. Yeah, so I got up early so I could go walking. It was only 68 degrees. I'm like, yay, at 6:30.
Yep. Well, I do the same thing because I'm not going to walk in the heat either.
No, and I had to take my daughter to the doctor's this morning, so I had to get up a little earlier. And this things we have to do, right? For our
That's
stuff.
exactly right.
So I'm like, I am warm. Anyhow, okay. They don't need to hear all this. Sorry.
212.4, how can you use Kathy's awareness, learning, and tools to improve confidence in making informed decisions? I put on there, speak to Kathy in her learning style language. So if she's an auditory or a visual or a kinesthetic learner, to try and speak back to her in that language. Affirm whatever positive behavior you see her doing and be respectful of her decisions.
Yeah.
Offer info if appropriate and express confidence in client.
Yeah, bring out all the things that she is doing well. Gosh, you're taking care of 5 children. None of them have died on you yet? Okay. Have they all, they all go to bed, you get them up. I mean, all the things you have to do to take care of kids. You know what I'm saying? It would just kind of funny, but bring some humor into it too. A little bit would be helpful. I would think.
Absolutely.
I have 4 kids, so I know. It's just like, as a mom, you're thinking, man, I'm like, wait a minute. They've all, come through college. They're all they haven't come back and moved in with me, so I must have done something right.
Absolutely.
Sarah, that's a little different scenario with a special needs daughter, but
I get you.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's okay, but
the fact that she could even think about trying to improve her health with 5 children is probably remarkable all in itself. Well, the last question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. 205 is, how can you use the social cognitive theory principles to help Kathy in her behavior change?
Okay, so social learning theory and self-efficacy theory, including, I did not read this part, so you're gonna have to tell me. This is one I didn't get to.
Well, I said to my husband last night, I said, oh, I'm reading about social cognitive theory. And he went, yes, SCT. And I went, oh, Lord. He said, you're going to become a counselor. You keep doing this coaching stuff. So obviously, this is what cognitive behavioral therapists also learn.
Wow.
So there's 3 factors. I can't tell you that I've got this totally into my brain either. 3 factors in SBT is personal factors, how one feels about what one can do, environmental factors, who are in the support networks and the role models, and then behavioral factors, what one experiences and accomplishes. That's all part of social cognitive theory. And then the concept of flow comes in here as well. And there's 4 sources.
Yeah, I will be reading that this afternoon.
Yeah.
It's in here, right? All our sources that we're reading about. So 2.1. I have my little whatever. Now, who is this? Caldwell? I didn't look that one up. The process of patient empowerment in integrative health coaching. How does it happen?
Yeah, that is a very long article. If you print it, you don't need to print the whole thing. I didn't print the whole thing, but I printed pages that it's very technical in how they went through this research project, and that is all recorded in that article. I didn't read all that. I just read it to get, the prime points out of it. And I think I sent you all the link. I didn't say anything about it, but I just dropped the link in an email.
Oh, okay. I'll have to go back and look at that.
Yeah.
So what would you say about that?
Well, for this one, I think it's critical for Kathy for her self-efficacy to get a win. So I think encouraging her strengths and values to increase her confidence. So encourage her to think of one friend that is fit and healthy, and then to use some imagery with her. I'm not a big fan of bark, but I do think there's a point where sometimes imagery can help. So
Yeah.
my question was, Kathy, imagine you're on a walk right now. How do you feel? And then to ask the question, do you have good walking shoes? Sometimes I think people don't walk because they try to walk in plain old shoes, and you cannot walk well that way. That'll send you home quicker than anything when your feet hurt.
Yeah.
And I also think probably talking to this client about stress, how to manage stress. Obviously, she has a lot of it. And maybe that's a better focus for her to explore that with her, to focus on stress and before you work on nutrition and exercise, just to work on that overall lifestyle.
That's true. Yeah. Because there's some good things, just the deep breathing, you know, maybe some, even if she'd like to do some stretching, maybe not a full yoga thing, but just that is so helpful. My daughter and I did that the other day, and it felt really good. I thought, why don't I do this more?
I always need to.
I always need to. I try and at least do it one day a week. It's not enough, but you know.
Yeah. Well, you're doing better than me. I always mean to do it, but I never quite get there for stretching.
Yeah, teaching her about some what did you say? Not de-stressing.
Well, just to teach about stress, how to manage
stress reduction, or okay.
Yeah, so just talking about deep breathing and meditation, how that might help her, and to, you know, to get her in a better frame of mind that she would want to improve her nutrition and her exercise, because I don't think she's still fully sold on it. I think she knows she needs to, but I don't think she's there yet.
Yeah. Or she doesn't feel like she could fit it in, possibly.
Yeah, and I think I could understand that.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, how can we, like you were even asking her that, how can you fit in 15 minutes to walk twice a week or something? Right. Or what would that look like? Maybe it's managing, you know, some kind of like a calendar and putting it down and writing it as an appointment, or, you know, things like that. I remember having a calendar, a big calendar for my family, and we were all different colors, writing down all of our things. And Mom, you know, I had my workout stuff in there on that, whatever time of day it was. And even now I have to write it down.
Yeah.
What's kidding? You know, it's good to have, what is that called? It's not calendar, it's
calendarizing is how the book called it.
Calendarizing. Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe she needs help with that, with her children. You never know what all their activities are that they're doing. It doesn't say what ages they are either.
Right. So the question would be, are some of them old enough to care for the others? You know, so she could go and walk.
Yeah. You don't know if she's homeschooling. I mean, there's a lot of scenarios in here we don't know about. Does she have a part-time job? We don't know.
Right.
Say that in here?
I hope she doesn't.
I hope she doesn't either. But again, it depends on the ages of her children. Yeah. You know, if they're in high school, but I don't know. So.
Yeah, exactly.
All these things to consider. So anyway, well, thank you for being here and running through this with me.
Well, thanks for being here and doing it with me. We next week's reading is not nearly as bad as this week's.
Oh, good. I can get caught up. I thought I'd take today and tomorrow and try and.
Yeah. This one is more involved, but next week's is just a little bit easier, a little bit lighter.
Okay.
And then we switch over to chronic disease.
Oh.
Yeah.
So what is that?
Yeah. Well, this next week we'll finish the kind of the coaching section, and then it goes to chronic disease next.
And then that was, I think, the extra information that I didn't have in my class. So I had to go and take a self-study course for like it took me like 2 weeks to go through it or something.
Oh, because you did it a couple of years ago and they didn't offer that?
They wasn't part of it. Yeah, it was in 2019.
Oh.
So yeah, I paid a
Boy, I'll tell you what, it was a flipping fire hose when they went through that with us. That section could have and should have been, in my opinion, longer.
Yeah.
Because they really crammed it down our throats really fast.
Yeah, even going through it, she says, "Oh, it'll probably take you," because I did it. It took me 2 weeks. But again, I think this is the stuff we're probably going to need more memorization on.
Probably.
Instead of
yeah.
So. All right, well, I'm gonna get out of my hot office here.
Well, do that and go and find you a cool place and
downstairs. I have a couple of air conditioners, but not. This one's just got a little fan in the window.